Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne. This is a book called Reframe Heaven, and this is chapter 17.
Thank you. Chapter 17. This is where you realize your life on earth still matters. What you lived shapes what you step into. When you thought it doesn't, I think some people think the life we live here on earth does not really matter in the way I've come to understand it now. For me now, living has to be intentional. It has to be meaningful because you might have quietly believed that what really matters is just for you to be saved. And once you're saved, you're going to church, doing all of the things that has been required of you by the church. But you forgot to live like God will have expected you to live, loving people, caring for other people, not just living for yourself, living intentionally, not just serving in church for just the sake of it. There is no connection. I'm talking about my own past life now as I'm discussing now. When I say past life, I mean when I was in religion. It's not a past life for me. But it's a journey that I'm grateful to God that I did go through because it helps me appreciate the real truth and it helps me to be able to discern the distortion from the truth. Because there's so many distortion that we've been fed in the church that this is where you quietly believe that as long as you make it, nothing else really counts. That heaven erases missed opportunity, they ignore your purpose, choices you avoided, as though arrival levels everything out. Because of course we all operate from the same level. So when you think you operate from the same level, we are what worship you were singing every day, you will not even think that there's any importance in fulfilling your destiny. I never ever even thought about destiny before in the way that I now see my purpose. And when God used to say, Tolu, I will be really, really glad if all my children are able to live their purpose. And majority, maybe 1 out of 10, really, really lives their purpose. And it was really sad because I was thinking my purpose was to serve God. My purpose was to go to church. My purpose was to fast. My purpose was to do all the things that I've been taught to do. Never thinking of it that it is way deeper than that because there's this comforting lie that life here is temporary, so not that important. It's messy, so not that meaningful. It's flawed, so not that impactful. But now I know it is temporary, but it really, really matters. It really determines your placement in heaven. Your life is not separate from heaven. It is the beginning of it. Or maybe the continuation of it, because I came from heaven. I had a life in heaven before. I never knew I used to be an angel, but apparently I used to be an angel in heaven before I came to the world. So my life continued. And when I go back again to heaven, it's still going to continue. But I guess because we don't have the awareness of who we were. If I wasn't told, I didn't know I was that. So that lack of awareness, I think it does impact the way we see the earth. And a lot of people work tirelessly building generational wealth. But you might have wasted your time building all this generational wealth, but when death comes, you're not taking none of that with you. But if that wealth has been used in a way that's glorified God, in a way that's been loving to people, you're not just the one benefiting what God has blessed you with, then maybe that could position you in a better place in heaven. So, like I said, this is the continuation. This is where everything connects. Earth is not disconnected, it's not irrelevant, it's not disposable. Now, when I look at my children, for instance, I used to think of their education. Why am I spending so much money like this on their education? If I put this money by the side when they are 18, they will have such a good amount of money just to start their life. But at the same time, I'm thinking, What is the point of putting money together for a child that is not well educated, that they don't even know how they can use those resources? But when you empower them, when you give them the knowledge, wherever they go, it will be useful. And now I even started thinking of heaven as well. That it's not just about her. When you educate them here, they can still continue in heaven. I never thought that way before because I look at art as a separated place, and you might have been looking at art as separation as well. No, but it's a continuity. Art might be the foundation that whatever you do here becomes what you step into there. It might be, and it might be whatever you've done here on earth doesn't not even relate to what you're doing in heaven because you've missed out in living your purpose on earth. But the good thing is we can still correct that in heaven. And what you live shapes what you enter, not just where you go, but how you experience it. So this is deeper than entry. It is about your experience, your placement, your capacity, because you carry yourself forward, not just your soul, but your growth, your maturity, your alignment, all of those things you carry forward. I know if Matthew gets to heaven today, all the things that's been said about Matthew, about who he is in heaven, which he is not aware of, I guess everything will connect together over time, and Matthew will be able to pick up where he left while he left heaven. So your choices matter. What you do every day is formative. What you choose to pursue, what you choose to ignore, what you choose to respond to really determines that afterlife. And that is why I live my life. Actually, I'm more conscious of the afterlife than the current life I'm living. And sometimes I do tell myself, Tolu, you need to still live in the present because I live more in the future. I live more in what heaven requires of me. So this is all this experience for me is not neutral. It's forming something within me. It's forming something within you. There's so many, like Michael Jackson used to sing here while he was on earth. He still sings in heaven, but maybe more towards leaning towards praising God, lifting God up, but he's still writing music. So there's a connection from what he did on earth to what he's doing now. My husband used to love music so much, like he plays drums, and he used to say he wanted to be able to do some concert where he invites people, but he never got the opportunity to do that. But he's doing that in heaven. So purpose is not optional, it is central. This is where another truth becomes that you were not created randomly. You were designed with intention, with assignment, with purpose. And living it matters because this purpose shapes your growth, they shape your maturity, and they shape your placement in heaven. So I think the reality for us is we need to understand that why are we here? What is the purpose? Because many live entire lives without stepping into what they are created for. And that has impact, not as punishment, but as limitation. It just limits you. So when you know what you are supposed to live for, I think you can start looking forward to what heaven is going to be like for you, because it is about you building yourself. What you give, what you surrender, what you become, all of this are building you. They are creating capacity in you, and that capacity will determine your depth of experience. I was telling someone today, I said, I had 3 children in 3 years. That was difficult, extremely difficult, but it built resilience in me. So I can see the transferable skills. Like I was not just looking at it like, okay, I had 3 children, but I had to survive taking care of them like for 6 or 7 years. I did not really sleep much because of course I've got children that don't like to sleep through the night. But all of those things built something else in me. It built resilience. It built me into who I am today. So all of these skill set, they are so transferable, and you can continue to use it even when you get to heaven. All of the things that you built in you still goes with you. Your level of awareness, your realm of placement, all of this goes with you, and you become much of a better person. So as I close, I want you to know that nothing is wasted. Even what felt meaningless, your struggles, your obedience, your quiet decisions, they are not meaningless. You are not starting over. You are continuing. You're not beginning from zero. You're not arriving empty in heaven. You're stepping into something that takes you further. So everything you're becoming now is what you step into there. I just want to emphasize that again. So I I will want my life, the life I live now, to be something that propels me into what heaven wants me to be in future, because life is not just survival, it's not just getting by, it's not just waiting to live. It is a preparation. It's not fear, but in purpose. I used to be fearful of eternity before. Now I'm not fearful of eternity because I've got my purpose and I'm focusing on that. So I hope you've been blessed by this chapter, that the lie, this is where you release the belief that nothing you do really matters. And you start knowing that everything matters, not in fear, but information in what is forming you to what you're going to be. So let the shift happen. Stop drifting and start living with intention, not for reward, but from alignment. So I hand you over back to Matthew.
Imagine this life as a dress rehearsal. Imagine this life, you've learned the lines of the play, you know your characters, you know your role, you come fully dressed and you do a rehearsal of, of what you're meant to do. Imagine this life, the planning. Imagine calling this life an apprenticeship. You've got a job that you're trained to do and that you're going to perform, but you've got to have a 4-year apprenticeship to learn how to do that job. That's what this life is to learn and prepare for what you're going to do in heaven. And it's very important that you discover your purpose on earth. You discover what you're here for. I've got a book called Finding Your Purpose in Christ, and that book can help you if you apply it to find your purpose. So nothing you do on earth is wasted. Nothing you obey the Holy Spirit in His leading in on earth is wasted. The cans of Coke, the bottles of Coke that you give homeless people, the money you give homeless people, the developing compassion in your life, developing a gift of teaching. I'm a prophet and a teacher. As a prophet, I've done about 20,000 prophecies, personal prophecies for people. I've done corporate prophecies. I've taught the church prophetically, and I've been used to do prophetic evangelism, do prophecies for people in a way of evangelism. All those gifts will be carried on in heaven. I was born again when I was 8 years of age, 51 years ago. And since then, I've been growing and growing in my maturity and in my Christian faith. And now I'm seated in heavenly places. I'm seated in realm number 7 in heaven. I can see myself in heaven. I know my reward. So if you were going to run a marathon, you wouldn't just turn up at a marathon and try and run it. You'd do years of practice or months of practice. You'd be running 5 or 10 miles a day, practicing for like a 30-mile marathon. You may run 20 miles a day. I'm not sure how much preparation you have to do for a marathon, and you can pretend that your life in earth is a marathon, and you've got to put in the work to prepare. So just like an apprentice trains for a job, just like you train for normal jobs, and you don't go into a job and immediately start doing the job. There's a time of transition where you get incorporated into the company. Your life on earth is a preparation for heaven, and what you achieve on earth translates into heaven. If, like I said in the last chapter, all you did was go to church and work a normal job, and you don't really witness to people, you don't really read Christian books, you don't really mature as a Christian, you can't expect yourself to reach a stage in heaven that's highly advanced and meeting with people who are highly advanced and really practice the Christian faith and made a big impact on the world through Christ. You'd expect that you'd end up spending time with people who didn't really do anything with their Christian faith. So uh, consider this as an investment. You can't become a millionaire. You can't have a lot of money in the bank unless you save the money, and consider this life as a life where you're continually investing in who you're going to be in heaven.
Oh, thank you, Matthew. For this chapter, I would love Queen Elizabeth to speak into this for us.
It's important that you invest yourself into what you become. On earth, I had a faith, and I used to go to church, and I had a dear faith with God. I can't say that I talked back and forth with God, but I had a belief in the Bible, and I had a strong faith. And understood Bible verses and understood what it was to obey. I did a tremendous job on earth. You could compare me to other monarchs who lived in the 20th and 21st century. You wouldn't come up with another monarch that did a better job than me. And because of that, I was rewarded in heaven. For a while in heaven, I was a monarch in heaven. I was considered the Queen of Heaven. I've gone on to do other things that are more helpful to the heart of Jesus now than doing that. But I'm pleased to say Princess Diana has gone on to play that role as Queen. As someone who is in realm 7 in heaven, I meet with the patriarchs of the faith. I spend time with people who are very close to God, and you can develop a close relationship with God through living your purpose, having an intimate relationship with Jesus, and being transparent. And so I enjoy my time in heaven. It's like my whole life was a rehearsal. It's like I played like a 50-year dress rehearsal. I rehearsed for my life here in heaven, and I've settled into heaven really well.
Thank you. So, to close, your life on earth still matters. Every choice, every response, every step, not to end heaven, but to shape how you experience it. What you lived does not disappear, it becomes what you step into. And when you begin to see that, you stop treating life as temporary and you begin to live it as preparation for something that continues. God bless.
Okay, so have a good day.